Good morning. Welcome to First Parish, Unitarian Universalist, Canton. I am John Donovan, and I will be your worship associate this morning. I am joined this morning by our minister, Reverend Dr. Clyde Grubbs, and our ministerial intern, Elizabeth Foster. First Parish Unitarian Universalist of Canton honors diversity and joyfully welcomes all who share the values and principles of our congregation. As a member of our Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, we are guided by the following principles. We believe in the freedom of religious expression. We believe in the toleration of religious ideas. We believe in the authority of reason and conscience. We believe in the never-ending search for truth. We believe in the unity of experience. We believe in the worth and dignity of each human being. And finally, we believe in the ethical application of religion. We are glad you have chosen to worship with us today, either here in person or online through Zoom. We hope you find your time with us meaningful. Okay, at this time I will turn the floor over to Elizabeth.
So there's an old joke that goes roughly like this. A man lived alone in Boston with only a pet dog for company. And one day his dog passed away, and he went down to his local parish priest and he said, "Father, my dog has passed away. Could you say a mass for the poor creature?" And the priest replied, "I'm afraid not. We cannot have services for an animal in church. But those Unitarian Universalists up the hill, there's no telling what they believe. Maybe they'll do something for the creature." And the man said, "I'll go right away, Father. Do you think $5,000 is enough to donate for the service?" And the priest exclaimed, "Oh, Holy Mary, Mother of Jesus, why didn't you tell me the dog was Catholic?" Jokes aside, respect for our fellow creatures, for one another, and for the earth itself is a cornerstone of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is written into our 7th principle, which calls us to respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, drawing inspiration from teachings of many faiths, including the Jewish notion of tikkun olam, or repairing the world, Jain commitments to nonviolence that extend to all living creatures, and yes, Catholic teachings about the inherent goodness of all of God's creation and our responsibilities toward it. As Unitarian Universalists, we recognize ourselves as responsible for and reliant upon the earth and upon each other. We are all in this together. And today, we especially honor our connection to our companion animals in a tradition created in memory of St. Francis of Assisi, who claimed the animals as his siblings. This morning, we light this chalice to honor our interdependence, our reliance upon one another and upon this earth, and the deep bonds between ourselves and our beloved animal friends. And now I invite you to join me in reciting our covenant together. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace with respect and understanding, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve our fellows and humankind, to the end that all souls shall grow together in harmony. Thus do we covenant with each other and with our God, by whatsoever name we worship. And now we will sing together our opening hymn, which is number 21 in your gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth.
this is a story about the naming of the animals. And so in the Hebrew scriptures, the Creator, God, made and named everything in the world. God made and named heaven. God made and named earth. God made and named the sun and the moon and the stars and the waters. God made and named almost everything. God even made and named the first man Adam, which means red earth, because God made the first man out of red earth. God made and named the animals, and I want Adam and Adam's children to protect and care for these animals. Maybe I'll let Adam name the animals, and he will get to know them better and really take care of them.
Well, when Adam heard that he could name the animals, he was so happy. He ran right over to a brown furry creature with teeth who was sleeping under a tree, and he yelled in its ear, "I am going to name you!"
Brown furry creature with teeth opened one eye and yawned and went back to sleep.
Very soon, Adam realized that he didn't know what to name the brown furry creature with teeth, or for that matter, any of the other animals. Adam sat down on the sleeping brown furry creature with teeth to think of a plan for naming of the animals, and suddenly it came to him, I know, I will give each animal a number. That way, when I want an animal to come over to me, I can just call its number. Adam looked down at the brown furry creature with teeth, lifted up its ear again, and shouted, "You are number 1."
The brown furry creature opened one eye, yawned, and went back to sleep. Adam spent the rest of the day numbering the animals. He gave numbers to slimy swimmers with no fins, fuzzy hoppers with itchy noses, squeaky flyers with colored feathers, chirping swingers with curling tails, spawny creatures with tiny feet, scaly swimmers with red eyes, and a whole bunch of gray, black, and white furry creatures with teeth who looked as they were related to number 1. In the late afternoon, somewhere between numbering the tiny sand diggers and swarming wood eaters, Adam lost count. He plopped down again on the furry creature with teeth to think of a new plan of naming the animals. Losing count.
After a time, Adam decided, I will call all of the animals, "Hey, you." That way, when I need an animal, I will only have to remember one name. The next day, Adam needed a big rock moved out of his way. He wanted the large, gray, wrinkled-up, long-nosed, big-eared, white-tusked, tree-eating stomper for the job. So he yelled out, "Hey, you! Come over here and move this rock. I see we have a volunteer." But instead of the large, gray, wrinkled-up, long-nosed, big-eared, white-tusked, tree-eating stomper, a rather small, quite noisy, banana-eating, chirping swinger hopped on top of the rock and began eating a banana.
Well, Adam was quite discouraged and returned to the brown furry creature with teeth to think of a new plan for naming the animals. But this time, nothing came to him.
Then the brown furry woke up, shook Adam into a nearby bush, growled a huge growl, looked Adam in the eye, and said to him, "Listen to me. With all your talking, you never once thought to ask us, the animals, what we would like to be named. Why don't you try that? Now, I don't know what they call a skinny, hairless, red earth foot walker like you, but they call me a bear."
So Adam asked all the animals, would you like to be called? He was polite. He was solicitous. He said, "What would you like to be called?" And you know what? They told him. Our benediction prayer, blessed, is in the New Testament. You might remember the blessings. They're blessed are the poor and blessed are the seekers. Well, this, for our animal blessing today, we have blessing are the faithful, for they will know dogs. Blessed are the playful, for they will love kittens. Blessed are all who love animals, for they shall be surrounded with love and laughter. Blessed are those without worry, for through them we shall know peace. Blessed are those with no possessions, for they shall be rich in spiritual things. Blessed are the innocent, for their hearts will know the holy. Blessed are the animals, our relatives, our teachers, and blessed are we. Spirit of love, creative spirit, be with us today, be with us this Sunday as we come to celebrate but also to share sorrow. Let our hearts embrace each other in community, knowing that in our sharing we will grow in solidarity, deep community, and we shall know love. Let our hearts extend to all the creatures of the earth and sky, embracing all as we come to pray our innermost prayers in the community of silence. Blessed be. Amen.
This is the time in our service when we lift up the generosity of all of you, members, friends, and visitors. We need your pledges and gifts to keep our doors open and our programs vibrant. For those of you participating remotely, you may contribute via PayPal or mail your contribution to the church. There will be more details in the Zoom chat. We are very grateful for your gifts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning. Now is the time for the blessing of the animals. And the first animal I'm going to bless is Elizabeth.
This is Jade.
Jade?
Yes.
Jade, you are blessed. You are a blessed animal, and you bless Elizabeth in turn. I'm going to admit that my animals are on my desk, locked in my office, because as I told you, I locked myself out. So I'm going to, my animals are Giovanni and Henry. They're cats. One's is a kind of a gray cat. gray pattern. What do you call those cats? And then the other's a orange cat. Big. They were both barn cats. So when they came to us, and therefore their domestication is still in a process. My spouse gave me a list of 10 cats that have gone to the ancestors on the way here, and I will bless them in spirit, but I especially remember Bigfoot and Littlefoot, who both, I don't know why cats die, but they do. So we invite you to come up one at a time and tell us about your companion, your spirit animal, your living animal, your whatever you would like to have blessed. We're here in the business of blessing. Did you bless my animals?
I have not. But I bless Giovanni and what is your other cat's name?
Henry.
Henry, yes. And I hope that you are a blessing to Clyde and Michelle and lay to you and all of the other cats that we have loved in our lives.
Thank you. And we're in the business of blessing now. Tell
I'm going to take this down, I think.
you tell Elizabeth the cat's or the dog's or the eagle's name.
And what is the name of your friend?
Pumpkin. His name is Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
We bless Pumpkin. Pumpkin is a cat, an orange cat, a friend of Giovanni, I guess, a cat, orange. And we bless so that he may be a blessing to you for your long time.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Brianna.
Brianna's Pumpkin is blessed. The big picture.
Yeah. I can't bring him because Joey is a wild duck who lives on Man's Pond in Sharon. He's pot Muscovy, he's a hybrid, and pot mallard. We think he's been there for 2 years and somebody's dropped him off. Sometimes I go down and feed him Cheerios and corn and some other things, and after my reading, he's gotten to know me. So when I come down and I sit on the bench, he comes and sits beside me. And he likes me to sing. That's something I got from the choir. You Are My Sunshine, I think, is his favorite song. And he closes his eyes. So this is Joey, the hybrid duck, who doesn't have a companion because hybrids are sterile. So
when you said the duck was Muscovy, what does that mean?
That's a particular kind of duck. He's a cross between, a Muscovy duck and a hybrid. I mean a mallard. He has a white ring around his neck like a mallard has.
I'm going to have to look that up. The biggest indigenous nation in North America is the Muscovy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Y'all call them the Creek.
The creek. Oh, okay. So I painted a watercolor picture of him.
So the duck, I'm going to check him out. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bless Joey.
Bless.
We bless Joey and all of the joy that he has brought to the residents of Sharon who come and visit with him, and all of the joy that you have brought him through your song.
Okay, thank you.
So this is Zoe. Oh, I lost her. She's my screensaver. Zoe, Tom found Zoe on, we lost our kitty Henry, and a week later we adopted Zoe, and Tom found her on the Milton Shelter website. And on Thursday, this past Thursday, we've had her 14 years, and her adoption certificate said she was 3 when we got her, so 17. And I don't know, people that were here last week, I was so happy because she had her 17th birthday, and we've never had a kitty reach 17. And she's just a Heinz 57, but she's pure white with pink accents, you know, pink paws and inside her ears. So we call her one of our millions of nicknames is our pretty pink and white pussycat.
Blessings. Zoe.
And what is the name of this friend?
Maggie.
Mm-hmm. It looks.
So, yeah. Maggie is our dog that we got from. Oh, Maggie's our dog that we got from the shelter in Salem, and she's never-ending fun, but also trouble, as John well knows, and anyone who attempts to walk by our house. But in all, she's a great dog and has boundless energy. I mean, the kids used to time her running out the back door to the front, and it was like, I don't know, 10 seconds. I mean, 3 seconds, like so fast. So she's slowed down. She's 8.5. But I'd say now she probably does it in about 15 seconds. She still runs out the door every morning. So.
We bless Maggie and all her mischievous energy.
Thank you.
Littlefoot came from the Salem.
Hi there. For us, it's Tucker and Rose Breyer. Also, there are dogs, and then also Blossom and Ozzy, who are our rabbits.
You have to give us a list.
We rest Tucker and Rosebriar, and I'm so sorry, what are your rabbits' names? Yeah, Rosie.
Ozzy and Blossom.
Ozzy and Blossom, those are lovely names, bringing joy to your life.
Hello. And we have two kitties that live in our household, Jojo and Melly, who are absolutely, we just love them so much. They were 11 years old. We got them from the Norton Animal Shelter, cat shelter specifically.
Blessings to Jojo and Melly and all the joy that they bring to your life.
Hi, I don't have pictures because I think I locked my phone in my house. But I want to have a blessing for the 2 animals that enriched my life who passed on. One who was Prince, who rescued a dog next door in our graveyard one day from two little ladies who had lost their dog, and he found them and brought her home. And to Brewski, who never met anybody he didn't love, but spent 2 days pulling my handbag out 2 doggy doors into his yard and eating the dinner rolls that he had hidden in the corner of the yard. So, and my current dog, who is Gracie, who looks very much like this beautiful animal here, only a little bit smaller. And God bless her or whomever, all the gods up there, because I'm not sure who's going to outlive who. She is a puppy of 9 months, and she is a challenge, but a beautiful animal.
We bless Rooster and your new puppy Gracie and all of the joy that they bring to your life and to each other and your pets who have gone on to the ancestors.
Hello, we have a couple of people on Zoom. Miles is on with his dog Mimi, and Felisa is on with her dog Spot, and Don has already spoken about their critters. And I'd like to bless my late dog Wishbone.
Wishbone?
Wishbone.
Wishbone, you're blessed.
And
Be blessed.
blessings to all of our friends who are joining us on Zoom, human and animal. And then we have one more friend here who is very eager to come up, I think. Can you tell us about this lovely friend?
So many of you know Hunter. He's kind of been raised in our congregation here. We got him during the pandemic. He is now 2 years old. He clearly loves attention, and he's loving every minute of all eyes on him this morning. So he loves humans, so feel free to pet him. And we are just very blessed and happy to have him in our lives.
Hunter, you're blessed.
Hunter, do you want to come over here and get blessed now? You're blessed, Hunter. It's a very active blessing for Hunter.
Perhaps you didn't bring a picture or something, but you have a memory of a pet that you would like to bless. Those who study these things, are sometimes have different names. Anthropologists, zoologists, etc. And they agree that the dog was the first domesticated animal. Domesticated, funny word, means an animal likes to live with people, and people like to have around. Domesticated. An animal that is attracted, like the duck perhaps likes to stay in a pond, but will come if you throw breadcrumbs into the pond. Domesticated. How and why this domestication took place remains unknown. Scientists always say that's because that means they get more research grants if they say it's unknown. 50,000 years old cave painting in Europe seems to show a dog-like animal hunting with human beings. 50,000 years. Do I repeat? Rome was 3,000 years ago. The oldest civilization was 5,000 years ago. This is 50,000 years ago. A cave painting show a dog-like animal hunting with men. One theory holds that humans took wolf pups back to the camp or cave and reared the wolf cubs, allowed the tame wolves to hunt with them, and later accepted the pups of the tame wolves into the family circle. So it was this process of mutual nurture. Another theory suggests that wolves were attracted to food scraps dumped as waste near human living sites. In turn, the humans would accept the presence of scavengers and would not drive them away. As they scavenged and kept the site clean, the tamest and friendliest wolves were fed. One of the secrets of domestication, feeding a dog. Later, the tame wolves were trained to pull sleds and other conveniences bearing the heavy game killed by humans. So the idea of dogs becoming pack animals to pull conveniences, carts, mostly sleds, is ancient. Now, because we're human beings, I think you'll understand this. We should admit that dogs kept by a human community would provide a ready source of food when times got rough. And the breeding of dogs for meat is also something very ancient. Some human communities seem to have bred dogs as a sacrificial animal for religious and magical purposes, to guard the settlements and to help with hunting. Studies of indigenous communities still in existence indicate that dogs are held in great reverence. To tame a dog was a major breakthrough in human and animal domestication. And because the dog is itself a hunter and had the desire to kill other animals domesticated by humans, but it didn't. Because it understood to be with these humans, it had to take care of the animals that the humans domesticated. It had instead had to learn to protect them. This is an evolutionary step that makes the dog different than the wolf. Although the wolf is the first animal from which dogs evolved, they evolved by becoming caretakers for other animals, and in the case of indigenous North Americans, children. Often children are babysit by a dog. Semi-wild dogs live today, and they have returned to the wild state. The dingo in Australia, for example, spends only a portion of its time with humans. When the mating urge seizes it, the dog runs off into the wild and then comes back months later. The partnership between dog and human has been shown in paintings and other art forms and writings. Dogs are amply illustrated in the sculpture and poetry of ancient Assyria, Egypt, Greece. The ancient Egyptians worship Anubis, the god of death. Anubis is portrayed with the head of a dog. The Egyptians were great lovers of dogs and were responsible for developing many breeds by crossing dogs with wolves, with jackals, and with foxes, and therefore breeding dogs for different purposes. Dogs were present among people who we call the North American Indian in the earliest settlements that have been found. Homer, author of Odyssey in the 9th century BC, is believed to be one of the first to write about dogs. They were mentioned often in his classic epic. The ancient Greeks believed that the gates of the underworld were guarded by savage three-headed dog named Cerberus. The belief might have been derived from the widespread practice in Greece of using watchdogs. The ancient Romans relied on watchdogs as well. So many dogs were kept in the Roman ships. And they also kept dogs to guard the house. And the Romans had a law that if there was a dog in that house, you had to put a sign on the front of the door that said Cav Canem, beware of dog. The Romans used dogs for military purposes, and sometimes as messengers, sometimes as attack dogs. During 400 years of the Han Dynasty in China, which began in the 3rd century BC, dogs were portrayed in many pieces of pottery. There were effigy pieces that symbolized the burial of favorite dogs with their masters. Something called toy dogs, little tiny dogs, were kept, and the little animals were used to provide warmth when carried in the wide sleeves of the Chinese royal gowns. Throughout these years, dogs have been bred for many reasons, such as hunting, herding, guarding. Breed histories and pedigrees, however, were not methodically compiled into the 19th century with the establishment of theories which we call the theories of racism. The idea that this dog is bred in pure blood is only 150 years old, 260 maybe now. The world's first dog show took place in Great Britain in 1859, and it was patterned after a debutante presentation. The first all-breed show in the United States was held in Detroit, Michigan in 1875, and then in Chicago, a dog show exclusively for sporting dogs. People have been amply repaid for their long partnership and support with the dog. Care and love on the part of the human is rewarded by loyalty, companionship, and fun. A dog, if you prefer a cat, is a longtime companion, and doctors will say that it may extend the life of the person by giving a spiritual connection, and a sense of companionship. So get a dog, get a cat, live long and prosper. The domestic cat is much more recent, 50,000 years, cat 10,000 years. Human beings began to plant and harvest grains, and once grains were harvested, guess what? They needed to be stored. And you guessed it, I could see shaking. People must know something about barns. Stored grains meant rodents, and rodents attracted cats. Cats a grain, barn. Farmers preferred the cat to the mice. They did. And they went out of their way to get a cat for the storeroom. So if a farmer had a litter of 7 cats, that farmer could make a lot of friends. So we're looking for a cat. Cats learn to adjust to their newfound friends and evolve a domestic habit of dependence. It's possible that without the dog, human beings would not have survived and prospered. And without the cat, human beings would be having a difficult time with agriculture, would be overrun by rodents. I can say with assurance that our dogs and cats have come to learn something vital about what it means to relate to other creatures on the earth. And we have been blessed, and we bless them in return. So that's our dog and cat history so far. So far. Our closing song is All God's Creatures Have a Place in the Choir.
Some sing
Now hear my benediction. We live in a world too beautiful to be praised in only one voice. Let the birds sing, let the lions roar, let the dogs bark and the cats meow. May all the creatures of earth and sky cry out in joy, and may you have the courage to sing your part, the love to use your gifts, so that the earth may be blessed by all her children. Go in peace, go in love, go blessed.